Hello everyone and welcome back to my B&B Everyday YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At the Forrester manse, Eric tells Ridge he's not an addict of the cloak and dagger capers. Steffi hasn't participated any of her plan with them. Ridge says she wants Hope and Carter out of the structure. That's good enough for him. Taylor appears after taking a call and asks if Steffi told them presently about her plan. She learns that she didn't and Ridge urges Taylor to find out. At the Precipice house, Steffi pours Daphne a glass of Gamesome. She sniffs deeply and tells her the scent is out of this world. She's counting on it. Steffi tells Daphne that every alternate Carter and Hope are in control at Forrester is a poke in the face to her family. Daphne assures her that Carter will be putty in her hands. Steffi wants a frontal row seat. Carter and Hope will question her return to the office, but they'll also see it as a victor. She says Carter is under Hope's spell, and Daphne smiles, not for much longer. At Forrester, Hope and Carter gush over Daphne and her scent. She tells him they're attracting the finest people. His plan is formerly working. Brooke comes by and they start raving about the changes passing around there. Brooke sighs that these changes she doesn't suppose there will be any coming back from it. Hope asks if she's talking about the company or her and Ridge. Brooke doesn't want to suppose about that right now. She doesn't know why she came back then. She can't concentrate. She sighs that she no way wanted this division, but Ridge has turned against her. He turned to Hope, asks Taylor. Brooke says she let the feelings get the stylish of her and slighted Ridge. Hope tells her mama that she and Carter didn't want her caught in the middle of this. Brooke asks where differently she could be. She's her son and Ridge's was her mate. She was ready to forgive him for Taylor until she realized she was being foolish. She took the CEO position because she allowed. She could help, but Ridge wasn't understanding. Hope suppositions he went after her for joining forces with them. Brooke says he made her feel like a foreigner. She slighted him and walked out. Taylor was coming by and she shoved her. At the Forrester manse, Eric is worried about Brooke taking the CEO position and slighting Ridge. Taylor says she's hurting and is taking it out on Ridge. He thinks she needs to condemn her son. Hope is the reason Carter betrayed them and they're in this position. He checks on Taylor, who says Brooke can't hurt her presently at this point. Back at Forrester, Brooke wants to know what's going on with the company. She asks about the scent line and Carter tells her they veritably instigative news. They all agree that Daphne Rose is on another position from Fanny and would bring a lot of credibility to their adventure. Carter asks if the CEO agrees to make her an offer. Brooke says, of course. At the Precipice house, Daphne tells Steffi that Carter is calling. She answers on speakerphone and he tells her he wants to meet and is sure they can work out a deal. Daphne purrs about him being intrigued with her. She's intrigued by him too. She disconnects and tells Steffi that Carter Walton took the bait. Steffi muses that now she only has to reel him in. At the Forrester manse, Ridge and Eric complain that Brooke could have hurt Taylor, who's being treated for a heart condition. Eric rants about his company being stolen. Ridge says the name on it's Forrester. His father is the Twinkle of Forrester. Eric says it's a family business. Ridge tells him it'll be again. Taylor points out their son is working on it as they speak. At Forrester, Carter, Hope and Brooke bandy-landing Daphne's scent. Hope says Ridge and Steffi could have been a part of this. Carter muses that they couldn't see the vision. They go on about Forrester being in good hands. Hope thinks Ridge is feeling insecure. Deep down, he's hysterical that Forrester will thrive under Brooke's leadership. Daphne Rose coming on board is a shriek of effects to come. There's no telling what the future will hold. At the Precipice house, Steffi bets Carter and Hope are felicitating themselves right now. She thanks Daphne, who's happy to help out a friend. Steffi says Carter is a fraud and behind him is a psychopathic golden named Hope Logan. She won't let them get down with this. Daphne tells her not to worry. She knows exactly what to do. Steffi asks if they should go over the plan again. Daphne doesn't need to, it's relatively simple. Steffi says for you. Carter's formerly charmed. She notes that this isn't each bad Brooke's formerly out of her father's life and it needs to stay that way. At Forrester, Hope gushes to Brooke about Daphne's scent. Brooke is melancholy, and Hope asks if there's anything she can do. She's sorry their preemption hurt her. Brooke says Ridge hurt her. The way he treated me like I was just another Logan. Like it's a crime to be a Logan. Hope says she tried to fight for her love and she's sorry Ridge couldn't do the same for her. Alone at the Forrester manse, Eric's gone for a drive and Ridge and Taylor bandy the situation. Taylor's sorry it's gotten so unattractive. She asks how Ridge feels about Steffi going back to Forrester. Ridge feels fine about it. He mutters about Brooke being the new CEO. He made her an superintendent but it wasn't enough. Ridge wants to talk about commodity differently and notes Taylor doesn't need this in her life. He doesn't want to talk about Carter and Hope. He thanks Taylor for what she brings to the family, like strength and passion. They embrace and he grunts that they've the house to themselves. Taylor smiles. What are you up to, Ridge Forrester? Luna Nozawa must hide when unanticipated guests show up at Bill Spencer's house. Still, it seems Elektra Forrester could be in peril each over again. Also, Brooke Logan slaps Ridge Forrester. Steffi Forrester's assurance. At the Precipice House, Taylor Hayes and Steffi Forrester Finnegan bandy bridge. Taylor and Steffi are induced that Ridge won't forgive Brooke this time. Still, Taylor is still on guard as she expects Brooke to put on the performance of a continuance. Steffi doesn't suppose it'll work. Taylor clarifies that she's not upset about Brooke. Taylor isn't hovered by Brooke. Taylor knows what she has with Ridge. Is it applicable to fit a snort right then? Back to the occasion, Steffi wonders what changed. Taylor explains her life feels full, and she won't live in a poisonous, vicious cycle presently. Taylor gushes about Ridge's support. Life is so good that Taylor just can't spend any time fussing about Brooke. Steffi calls John Finnegan. Steffi explains that she dropped the kiddies off with the sitter. Steffi and Finn have the place to themselves. Taylor takes off to see Ridge, so happy how near they're getting again. Steffi lets her mama know she'll stay up for her. Taylor laughs and leaves. At Eric Forrester's estate, Brooke continues trying to explain herself to Ridge. It isn't working. Brooke continues saying she just took the CEO job to give the company back to Ridge. Brooke tried to tell Ridge, but he formerly boinked Taylor. Brooke still thinks they can overcome this handicap. Brooke really allowed. She was doing the right thing. Ridge believes that Brooke's heart was in the right place, but he says she was still wrong. Ridge anticipated Brooke to denounce Carter and Hope during the live broadcast. Well, that would just beget more bad PR. Ridge also you would condemn her for that. Ridge harangues about Hope Logan still living on the property. Well, Ridge, you moved out, so it's not really your call presently. Ridge accuses Brooke of being played by Hope. Ridge tells Brooke that he'd to watch Eric's heartbreak. Ridge adds that Brooke went straight to the adversary. Brooke says there's no adversary. Ridge says that Hope and Carter are adversaries, and now Brooke is an adversary too. Brooke won't admit that Hope did anything manipulative. Ridge brings up Hope playing with Thomas Forrester and caprioling on Finn. Ridge calls Hope names which Brooke can't stand and tells him so. Since they're talking about wrong moves, Brooke says Ridge calling Hope names is wrong. Brooke also says that Ridge jumping in bed with Taylor was wrong. Now Brooke is calling out Ridge for treason. Brooke can't believe Ridge jumped on Taylor so presto. Brooke can't believe how Ridge always needs to have his pride stroked by two women. Yeah, you go, Brooke. Tell the Waffle King how it is. Brooke refuses to partake a man. Ridge made his choice. Brooke has gashes in her eyes. Brooke wishes she no way walked into that house, and wishes her mama no way accepted that feeding job. Brooke is done with Ridge. Ridge scoffs at Brooke being done with him. Ridge claims that Brooke is still going to run his family's business, however. Brooke can't believe that Ridge doesn't view her as a member of the family. Brooke harangues about how Steffi and Taylor see her as a Logan. Brooke reflections to Ridge about how they see her as inferior. Ridge just stands there with a dumbfounded look on his face. Brooke gently caresses Ridge's impertinence, also suddenly slaps him. Brooke tells him to have fun with his alternate choice. Just also Taylor shows up. Brooke shoves Taylor out of the way. Over at Bill's house, Luna thanks him for what he's done. Bill reminds Luna she's under house arrest. This has to remain a secret or it won't work. When Luna formally again asks Bill why, he says he didn't want her to die. Bill adds that he wants to give her the stability that he no way endured. Suddenly, a motorcycle can be heard outside. Bill orders Luna to hide. Luna watches from the staircase as Will brings Elektra outside. Will introduces Elektra to a beaming Bill. Elektra explains to Bill about her fire with Remy Price. Elektra goes into detail, so Elektra now has Remy's name, her job at Forrester Creations, as well as the crimes that were committed against her. As Will and Elektra talk to Bill, Luna gets a creepy grin on her face.